Okay. Um, Dev Build 1. It is April 5th, 2024, and I built my first shareable version. I'm sharing it via Dropbox. So April 5th, 2024. The README points to the Google Doc. The Google Doc will tell you that you should never download executables from the internet on random, but if you decide to, then you can play around with it. Mostly sharing this with friends and family or coworkers, but I'm not really worried about locking it down too much. So let's talk about land trains. So land trains, it is my first venture into my second venture, if you want to count what I did in college for like a project. But my first real venture into writing a video game. Um, it is relatively simple. You are playing as a train. Your train has wagons. The wagons have two decks, an upper deck and a lower deck. And the upper deck is effectively a turret like you would see in a tower defense game. The lower deck is also kind of like a turret in a tower defense game, although the lower deck is more of a supporting unit, whereas the upper deck is almost all of them deal damage, and only one of the lower decks deal damage. Um, so your enemies consist of these tiny little pill bugs which come out of the ground and out of holes. Um, these mortar bugs will place these little radicals. If you run into those, then you take a bunch of damage. If you run into any raised terrain, you die. It is Snake. Um, your health is up here. As you pick up chests, then you will increase your length. If you increase your length, you increase your health. That is our last enemy type. That's the earthworm. The earthworm is its own snake. If you run into it, you take very large amounts of damage, and that is not advised. Also, if you run into it, then the worm body stays behind, whereas if you do enough damage, the earthworm will disappear underground. So those are three enemies. Let's talk about the turrets. These are your turret options. This is the upper deck build. This is the lower deck build. This is exchanging chests, resources, up here for coins. Coins can be used to upgrade things. This is broadsides. It's a terrible icon, I'm aware. I need to fix that. This is engineering. It kind of gives you some really small regeneration amount. That was an example of running into it. You see my health is also decreasing quite a bit. Also running into stuff while talking. And you see that the number of bugs is large at this point. This is increase your pickup range. If you go to the upper deck, there's a lightning tower, does area of effect damage. This is a just direct fire turret. This is a area of effect slow, and this is a damage over time effect. And you can navigate by the arrows, clicking them. You can also use the arrows over here. You can see that you're down below navigating through your entire train. And you can also do these controls by using the keyboard, but I wouldn't advise it. I would, just try a controller before you try and handle this with the keyboard, because it is effectively the Y, U, I is these three keys, and then you have H, J, K, and N, M, comma. I think it's those 9 keys are mapped here. For steering, if you use absolute steering, is WASD. If you use relative steering, it's just A and D because you just can turn left and right. Those are the only options you've got. Yeah. And yeah, right now the goal is to kind of get some initial feedback on the gameplay and how things work, and like what are the things that are just absolutely don't make sense. These things, they're events. If you get close to them, it will slow you if you step on those areas. So don't do that. Uh, it will give you something in a future release when you complete the event and you fill up the progress bar. You fill up the progress bar by being near it. Um, Other than that, I think that I'm going to let people form their own opinions and let me know what they do and don't like from this basic design, and let people do their own thing with it rather than try and explain how to play the game. Um, yeah, let's see what the users are going to do. I'm sure it will be awful.